Hi, it's Dr. Scott Watson with part 2 of creating a mid-level lead sheet in Finale. In an earlier video, we presented how to typeset a simple lead sheet, which included things like setting up the score with a non-transposing treble clef instrument, setting text elements such as the title and composer, setting the time signature, key signature, tempo, and attending to layout items such as the space between systems and the number of measures per system. We also showed you how to use the speedy entry tool to enter notes and rests. In part 1 of creating a mid-level lead sheet, we included even more lead sheet tools and features, including adding ties, slurs, and other articulations, chord symbols, slash notation like we use in the introduction here, with what Finale calls a staff style, labels for formal sections such as the intro, verse, and outro, and adding a time signature change. In this video specifically, we're going to explain entering triplet rhythms, entering song lyrics, another staff style called rhythmic notation, and adding simple repeats. To learn even more, check out my in-depth videos on adding articulations, adding chord symbols, creating tuplets including triplets, and using staff styles. Okay, let's get started. All right, here is the lead sheet for Asala Yanyuki, the way we want it to look like. What I've done is I've set up a lead sheet that has all of the things that I want to show you undone, and then I'll do them to present how they're done. So let's start with the triplets. We need to put some notes in here in measure 10. So I'm going to be using a MIDI keyboard and pressing the notes on my MIDI keyboard and then pressing the keyboard shortcut number that corresponds to the rhythm that I want. In another video, how to enter tuplets, including triplets, you can find a lot of detail about this, but basically option and the number that you want for the tuplet is the way to do a triplet. So option 3 is what I would press first. So I'm going to go ahead and do option 3. And we see a little 3 in the upper right hand corner. That tells you that the next 3 notes I put in will be triplets. So I'm going to go ahead and play the G on my MIDI keyboard and press the shortcut 5 for a quarter note triplet, and then A, 5, B, 5. And now for that regular half note, press the C and just press 6, which is the shortcut for half notes. So I've got my triplets in there in measure 10. Okay, next to add the rhythmic notation, we use the staff tool. And we just select the notes that we want to turn into rhythmic notation, and that is these beats here. We go up to the staff menu, apply staff style to the score and parts, and the staff style we choose is rhythmic notation. Notice there's a shortcut R there. I'll show you how simple this is to use that shortcut. We're going to just say OK, and now it's rhythmic notation. So down in the outro here, I also want to use rhythmic notation right here. And this time I'm just going to use the shortcut R. Here I go, pressing R. Boom, and we've turned that into rhythmic notation. Okay, next we're going to apply the simple repeats. For this, we're going to use the repeat tool, of course. And our repeat starts here in measure 5. So I just double click measure 5, and I'll choose the forward facing repeat and say select. And then I'm going to go to measure, actually to the very end, and put our back facing repeat sign there. Okay, this window is going to ask us a little bit about the repeat. Should we jump 2 times? Yeah, that's what's normally done. You could just leave the defaults and to the nearest forward facing repeat rather than giving it a specific measure number. And okay, we've got our repeat signs in. All right, next we're going to put the lyrics. This is just about the biggest chore of this video is entering lyrics. So we're going to go in depth. We're going to choose the lyric tool. And you'll see that there's these 4 triangles to the left of each system. When you click on a note, that's where you're going to put the lyrics in, and you can see the cursor blinking where the leftmost triangle is. If you want to get that text a little bit lower away from the music, then you drag that leftmost triangle down, and then you'll see the cursor is now a little bit lower. So that's kind of what we want. And also, very importantly, in the lyrics menu, we want to confirm that we have type into score chosen. That's the method that we're going to be using to put our lyrics in, is typing them directly into the score. The first lyric goes in here, and I do have a document that has the lyrics. Let me open that up. Okay, and I've opened up a document that already has my lyrics typed out. In fact, I've already figured out where the hyphenation goes, because that's important too. Figure out where your words get divided up. So I'll go back to my Finale score here, click on the first note where I want one of my word syllables to go, and type the capital A. As soon as I hit the hyphen, it advances to the next note. Also, if I did the space bar, it would advance to the next note. All right, so we type in our next syllable, sa, and hyphen, and li. And here I'm just going to hit the space bar because I'm going to a new word, ya. And that's new, and then hyphen, and then key, comma, space bar. And here's mwam, hyphen. Oh, because that's slurred, I'm going to hit the space bar and get to the next syllable. Those two notes are all in one syllable. Now we're at ba and then ni, period. And we're ready to hit the space bar, go to the next thing. Notice this little word extension that automatically gets put on the words. If you don't want the word extensions to go on automatically, some people don't like that, you would go to the document menu, document options, and then down here where it says lyrics, you'll notice that there's a word extension. You can turn off the word extensions automatically that are being put in. So I'll turn that off just to show you that if I don't have that chosen, right, that word extension's not there. And then to add the word extensions manually, I have to actually choose edit word extensions, and then I have to actually drag it out like that. So that's why it might be better to just have the word extensions on and let that be done automatically for you. Anyway, let me go back to typing into score, and now we're up to this note here. So we're going to go ahead and put in ye, su, ye, hyphen, su, spacebar, ni, ka, hyphen, and I'm going to hit the spacebar to get past that tie, and then ma, and then spacebar, sa, hyphen, li, ya, spacebar, new, hyphen, key. You get the idea. So this gets a little tedious. I'm going to go ahead and edit my word extension because I have to do it myself now. All right, let me go ahead and type in the rest of the lyrics, and then we can talk about the lyrics tool a little bit more. Okay, got to go ahead and add these couple word extensions here for this melisma here and for this held note here. And remember, since we have a repeat, there is actually one more syllable I need to type in, and that's the of asali for when we repeat back to the beginning. Okay, I've got all my lyrics in now. And again, I can go back and change anywhere that I feel like I need to lower the baseline of the lyrics to get it further away from the notes. And that is basically typing the lyrics into scores. Remember, hyphen for divided up syllables, and then spacebar to advance to the next note when you don't need a hyphen. And then if you want to add word extensions, you can either let it do it automatically. Remember, document options, lyrics, and word extensions. You can turn that on and let it do it by itself. Finale will do it pretty smartly. Although it didn't do it smartly there, right? So that would be one reason maybe not to do it. And then you can still edit that word extension, right? So I think that's too long, so I can pull it back like that. You can decide whether you want to do the word extensions automatically or just edit them. All right, next we have an easy one, adding rehearsal numbers into our score. There are places like the beginning of the verse and the outro, measure 5 and measure 13, that we want to have a boxed rehearsal number. We'll use Finale's expression tool, double click there in measure 5, and we're going to choose the rehearsal marks category and choose measure number and assign it. And notice that we get a 5 in a box there. We can move that around. What's kind of cool about that specific measure number is that I can change it to the 6 measure and it updates it, right? Now it's measure 6. Or if I move it here, now it's measure 7. So I'm going to put that at measure 5. I'm going to do another one here in the outro. Measure number, assign, and that's measure 13, so that we have those measure numbers are easy to find. The last thing I want to show you with this mid-level lead sheet part 2 is how to put text at the bottom of your lead sheet. This might be, in this case, it's a translation of the East African or Swahili, but in a lot of hymns or songs, we would see verse 2 and verse 3 down here. This is done with the text tool. I'm going to just move this over by its handle and just show you how I created it. I double-clicked, I typed in the words I want, and then I format the text later on. Like for instance, I can double click in the box here. I can select this text here and say that I want that to be bold, right? Or I can make it a larger font size, maybe that large, right? And then if I want that to be underlined, that's another one of the styles, underline. So you can do all sorts of things with the text tool. You can do justification, left, center, right, and alignment. All of that can be done with the text tool, and that's how we get that text in at the bottom of our lead sheet.